Born, Dayton's right choice. Thanks for tuning in to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. Over 4.5 years on this station and somehow haven't gotten fired, and it's not for lack of trying. Which reminds me, I need to remind you that the views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect the views and opinions of WWSU, Wright State University, or the Wright State student body. Let's face it, the views and opinions on this show don't reflect the views and opinions of most people in a civilized society, so buckle up and let's get stupid.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Already. I'm your host, Don Smith. We're sitting in with just one co-host. I had two scheduled. You don't even know where's my head, Patrick? Where's my head? Adrian Miller is my co-host.
All the time. Don, where's your head?
Yep, I don't know. Charlie Hester couldn't make it. She got snowed in. Apparently, the blizzard of 2020 out in. You all right, Patrick? You can have a camera on you, Patrick. We've only got the two of us in here. And you.
Yeah, you can. Oh, no, he's doing the unflattering angle. Come on, Patrick.
Yep, she wants it up all the way up top. All the way up top.
As high as it can go.
Just hold it up there.
Right.
They're perfect.
If
right
I can
there,
be, like,
right
very
there.
Distant.
I want mine. Can you put the camera down on the floor for me? Just kind of do an upskirt of my pants. No, I'm kidding. I'm good, Patrick.
It won't stretch anyway.
Yeah, neither will the camera. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, Charlie Hester couldn't make it in. I advertised the show with her, and then she ducked out. That just, I guess the weather in Illinois is getting too bad already.
That's the thing when you live in Illinois. That's the hazard.
Yeah. Well, it's not Chicago, though. It's like mid-Illinois.
Whoop.
Not, yeah.
It's like my dad. He's thinking about moving here, and he asked if they were going to need a snowblower. I'm like,
not
no,
this winter. Not
you
this
can
winter.
You can often wait till the afternoon.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
He's retired, so I mean,
I think he's trying to
your
say
energy.
something about that.
Yeah. What's that?
I think he's trying to say something about that, asking for a snowblower.
Okay.
Is it
Patrick
too...
in the studio. Are you still messing with that?
You're
all over the place.
I am such a girl, so I am going to be.
I hope none of our viewers are epileptic because we've just.
I'm going full selfie
gonna be
right
on the
now.
show?
Huh?
Who's going to be on the show?
First guest is going to be calling in here in just a few minutes. Going to be Larry Hankin, who is an actor, comedian, writer. He's been in just about every movie and TV show ever made. Are you okay over there?
It doesn't bend back.
I know. That's the problem I have too.
Well, that's once you get past a certain age,
it doesn't spring back, doesn't bend back, just nothing.
Just straight up and down.
Right.
Ask me to do anything else, and you better bring some ibuprofen.
Anyway, exciting things coming up on the Life Radio Show. We have the guest co-host showdown with Scotty Mays and Autumn Hatcher on March 10th.
Larry Hanking's face just randomly appeared on my screen for like 5 seconds.
Are you just seeing things, or you just okay?
Sort of like his appearance in most shows.
Yeah,
Who is that guy? He's so amazing, and then he's gone into the mist.
No. When Charlie canceled, I tried to get Autumn on so that she could talk about the upcoming showdown between her and Scotty.
Yeah.
But she is in Jamaica, so just so you know, Autumn, if you happen to be listening to this later, because I'm sure you're not listening while you're in Jamaica, you lost 5 points right off the bat for being in Jamaica today. So
penalty thrown.
Yes, that is definitely a penalty flag right there.
No, I think she should lose 1 point for every degree warmer that Jamaica is right now compared to us.
No, just 5 points. It's just because it's. I mean, if I had a choice of being on the radio show and being in Jamaica, I'd be in Jamaica right now.
Exactly. That's why she should lose points.
I'm going to give her 2 points back because she sent me a picture of her in Jamaica in a bikini. So we so she's only starting out -3. I better write that down. Okay. -3 points to Autumn right off the bat for being in Jamaica.
Anything moving this around. I'm sorry with all the noises. I'm trying to optimize.
But I don't want you to feel too bad, Autumn, because Scotty's losing 5 points for being shirtless on my radio show last week. So
fair enough. But an FCC violation.
He should
Yeah,
lose another
exactly,
2
exactly.
points for not having a donut that day to
No.
compliment.
He sent a picture with a donut, and that made up for it.
Okay.
That's, there is a flyer. I'm gonna start advertising right now. There is a trophy.
Oh,
I have gotten them a trophy.
It's
I
great.
can't talk too much about it
Okay.
because we'll get fined for sure. But should I say it, Patrick? What the trophy is?
As long as you
Okay.
explain what you
Explain
mean
that
by it.
is.
Yeah.
It is a rooster.
okay.
It is going to be the Life Radio Show's coveted Golden Cock Award. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, one of those two, March 10th, either Scotty Mays or Autumn Hatcher is going to be walking out of here with cock in hand.
Do you think maybe that's why Scotty went shirtless? He was a bit confused about the titling.
It could be.
Walking out with cock in hand.
Yes. Someone they will
He's
walk
like, well,
out
I guess I
head
got
held high,
okay,
cock in hand.
I mean, it's your show, Don. I guess.
Probably not anymore after this. Hey, we got a phone call. I wonder if this is Larry.
We'll find out.
Please interrupt this conversation.
Save us.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Life Radio Show. Is this Larry?
Yeah, this is Larry.
Hey, thanks for calling in. It's good to talk to you.
Oh, it's good to be talked to.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, just let you know who's in the studio with us. My co-host is Adrian Miller.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Adrian. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
We're
me too.
also in here with my producer Patrick, who actually has a camera on him. We usually don't give him a camera, but
Sometimes
Oh,
you don't even
cool.
give me a microphone.
yeah, a lot of times
Yeah.
we take his mic too. You'll find out why in a minute.
Yeah.
Well,
How
welcome to
does
this.
how does this Skype thing work?
What's that?
How does a Skype thing work?
Yeah, we're not Skyping. We're just phone call. That's all we're doing here.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. We have your headshot from your website up for our video feed. So
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that-
wonderful.
that-
yeah,
that
I
way-
don't move much.
yeah, you're you're very still. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Somehow you have mastered the skill of talking without your mouth moving, too.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's- You'd have been a great ventriloquist.
Well, somebody is a ventriloquist. I don't know if it's me. Yeah, I guess it's me. Sure, yes, it's me.
Yeah, all right.
That's actually this is giving away a secret of your show, which is the guests actually are all ventriloquists.
Right.
Our mouths move,
Right.
but they actually provide all the content.
Yeah, they do a lot of
It's all their
voices too.
voices.
Well, welcome to the show. It's good to have you. I've been looking forward to talking to you about basically every TV show in the world because I think you've been on. I was looking through your IMDb. I don't think you missed any of them.
No, actually, you're right. I didn't realize it while I was doing it. I just kept on trying to get some work, and then eventually somebody mentioned it. Hey, you've been in everything. And I go, yeah, I've been in everything once. And that's it. Except for Friends and, I guess, Seinfeld. I did 2 and 5, yeah. But
Well,
that's
there
it.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You have some recurring roles.
Yeah, but I'm working on a recurring role for myself now, and I'm writing a movie and a sitcom, so we'll see how that goes. But that's the future.
Nice,
That's
nice.
coming up.
Yeah. Well, you were in Breaking Bad a few times as old Joe as well. So you've had
Twice. Twice, and then I was in El Camino.
Right,
So
right,
that's
right.
Maybe 3 times. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to
So
count them
I-
collectively.
right.
Yeah, but still, the preponderance is, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out. Except I probably have an attitude problem. I think that's the key right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which
definitely
is
have
fine.
a
I mean,
case of that.
I'm not denying it, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's why. But yeah, I would rather keep the attitude. Actually.
What kind of attitude
Oh,
problem
yeah,
you
yeah.
got?
Just an attitude of why am I doing this? Why am I here? And who are you?
But
So it's kind of like a
goes
radio
like
show host.
I was going to
That's
say
what-
that
yeah.
sounds a lot like our show most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Except in the majors, they don't like it.
right,
is
right.
not a-
Yeah. That's,
This is not a podcast, Larry. This is showbiz. So okay, all right, fine. I mean, I have no arguments with it. It's their show. I try as best I can to color inside the lines. That's an interesting thing. A woman once came up to me when I was first starting in this. I mean, she didn't know I was in showbiz. I was just walking down the street,
Mm-hmm.
And she came up to me. She was dragging her kid behind her. I mean, literally dragging her kid. He didn't want to be, I don't know, walking with her. And she came up to me and she said, "Can you tell me why my son doesn't color inside the lines?" I mean, out of nowhere. I don't know, lady. I don't color inside the lines. I think it's fine. So she went on to another stranger for better info.
That's just a random question they asked. You just.
I don't know why she stopped me. I mean, she was just, I guess I was the only guy around at the time, but she's just dragging the kid, and she just came up to me, this complete stranger, and asked me, and I gave her an answer.
I mean,
really
this
funny.
is very validating because I distinctly remember as a kid, that was one of the things my parents had to coach me on just to get into first grade. Adrian.
To get color inside the
Yeah,
line?
they're like, Adrian, I know you're an artist, baby.
Right.
I know that. I also like to color everything
Exactly.
black. And they're like, Adrian, they're going to think
that's-
you're a psycho. Use other colors,
Right,
please.
exactly, Adrian.
Okay,
You're
I'll
right
throw some
on.
dark red in there.
Exactly. Just black and red inside the lines.
And so once I heard that, and then later on, I don't know, maybe a year or two later, I was asked to actually color something on an interview. It was on television or something. But they asked me to color like we have each guest color one of these pages in a coloring book. And so I remembered that question that lady did, and they colored totally outside of the lines, and they freaked, man. They go, well, I guess that's okay. Well, I mean, that's what I do. Well, no, it's perfectly all right, but they didn't know how to handle it. They couldn't cope. So it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. Is that, I saw in your bio that you actually studied as an industrial designer?
Well, yeah. I have a degree in industrial design. Yeah.
How did that
Art
happen?
and-
Because I considered that career. My parents tried real hard. They're engineers. They tried real hard to get me into industrial design. I'm too much of an artist, though. It was still too hard for me to color inside the lines.
Very good. So, so you just refused? Is that it?
I took shop class so I could take drafting to get a taste of it, but everyone was too introverted. I could not stand. Like, people would just sit there, and I would say, "Hey, how are things going?" And they'd look at me like scared deer in headlights.
Were you the only girl in shop class?
I might have been one of two. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's
Yeah,
part of
well,
that in
that's
retrospect.
Probably why. Yeah, a lone girl among many men, it just is very frightening for men. They just don't know how to handle it.
We also,
I mean, if it was one or two, they'd hit on you. But, more
Yeah.
than that, they're all, witnesses. So,
yeah.
I mean, guys are really weird. I really respect women. I don't respect guys too much, but women are cool, but I don't know that much about them. I just assume they're
They're
much
very
cooler
cool.
than
We're
we
cold
are.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because our
always
hearts are
frigid.
frozen
Yes,
over.
I'm an HVAC tech. I know they're always cold.
Yeah. My boyfriend last night was like, "Stop touching me in bed." That's our level of relationship. Stop touching me. You're so cold. I'm like, yes, but you're so warm. That's why I keep you around.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's probably just a good reason. I fell into industrial design because I wanted to be an artist, and my parents wanted me to go to college. That was a forced thing to go to college. So, and they wouldn't let me go to an art college. So the capitulation was industrial design because I had to take some art classes.
Yeah.
And I was good at it. I was very good at it, but I mean, it didn't turn me on. I paint. But frankly,
But then you ended up in Greenwich Village, right?
Well, yeah, and I started as a stand-up comedian because I graduated college with. I graduated with a straight A average. Well, not straight A, but a lot of A's. A lot of A's. I mean, I was thrown out twice, so that was why I didn't get straight A's.
Why were you thrown out?
But actually, for misusing the materials. When you design an industrial design, you have to build it. So they would ask me to design chairs. You had to, mold them and do all this, and mailboxes and things where you had to work with machinery, metal building, metal folding, metal melting. So when things were due, when projects were due, everybody in the industrial design department was in the metal shop class, or in the metal shop, working on the machines, and there weren't enough machines for the people that needed them. So
Yeah,
I would
students.
just go over to machines that weren't being used, and I would adapt them to what I needed,
Yeah.
because somebody was on the machine that I wanted to use. So I was actually kicked out of the class for misusing a machine. So when I was kicked out of the class, I said, "Well, how can I build this machinery if you're kicking me out of class? I have no access to, a metal shop, a metal working shop."
Yeah.
Right.
So he said, "Well, it's too bad. I guess you're going to fail, Larry, for misusing." So I immediately left the class because they wouldn't let me in it anymore. I mean, into the shop. So I went down to the head of the department of the industrial design art. Well, it was all under the art school. So I went to the head of the art school. And I complained about, I can't finish my project because they kicked me out. I wasn't misusing the machinery. I was adapting. I was readapting the
That's
machinery.
almost Silicon Valley level
That's
ingenuity.
that's problem solving.
Exactly.
In a
So I
different
thought I was
era.
being clever.
Yeah.
You'd be going to Silicon Valley and doing a startup, Kickstarter.
Right.
Well, no, not really. I'm not. I don't have a. I'm an artist. I mean, I'll stop right there at the door. I don't have a. I've tried. I've tried. But I went to the head of the school and I said, I don't deserve to be thrown out. I think the teacher is unfair. And I started giving examples of other unfair things that he did to me, and mainly me. And who should walk into the room, into the head of the department's office, but the teacher who kicked me out of the school, out of the class? And he walked into the room and said, "What are you doing here, Larry?" And I said, I was just telling him why you kicked me out, and I don't believe that I should be kicked out." So the head of the department took sides. And he said, "Larry, would you excuse us and wait in the waiting room while I talk to your teacher and get his side of it?" And then, I waited there for about 5 minutes, and the teacher came out, and then the head of the department came out and says, "Well, we're suspending you. You're kicked out of the school. You can't talk to teacher. You can't backtalk. You can't sass the teachers.
Sass?
So
Sass?
you're out." Well, he didn't say sass, but that's what he meant.
Yeah.
And so I was thrown out, and then I had to, and then I feared my parents' reprisals. I was trying to be a good kid. So I wheedled my way back in, and then they threw me out again, and I wheedled my way so back in again, and then I really hated myself for getting back in, because I started to learn as I was, I was a fan of other people, like, other people who were famous, and rock and roll was starting up around then, and I found out that all the people who I really looked up to as my real artistic mentors had either never gone to college or quit in the middle. And I felt like a fool, for actually graduating. I actually went all the way through.
Yeah.
And I graduated at the head of my class, but I just did it to please my parents, and I never did that again. Never. I hate to pass this on. I mean, because I've made my peace with them. And they passed on now, but I mean, but at the time I was really a kind of a rebellious kind of sort, and I guess I still am. I know it's bad to be angry at your parents past a certain point. I mean, it just doesn't pay. It's just stupid,
Yeah.
So, I finally kind of grew up to that, but my attitude never changed about, people. But it warned me about doing things I didn't want to do. I mean, it finally, made me do, okay, that was it. I did it for my parents, but, and so I kept the attitude all the way through acting, and, I made it pay for myself, for me, by becoming a stand-up comedian, and I just worked it all out on stage. See, attitude problems on stage, if you can finesse it, are really funny. I was opening for Miles Davis and Kingston Trio and Love and Spoonful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it finally I made it pay. made
Yeah.
it pay. It was a good living.
And then
While it
and then you moved into acting.
Well, I
Working
didn't
a
just
few
move.
days a week and living off the residuals, I assume.
Well, that's a mighty big jump you just took.
I know. I glossed
No
over the
way
San
that
Francisco.
happened.
I glossed over the.
That didn't happen that way.
No.
What happened was the attitude finally. I was into Richie Pryor and George Carlin,
Right.
and I wasn't ready for that. I mean, I was
Yeah.
being taken off the stage, but I was into Lenny Bruce territory with the attitude. So,
Oh, wow, yeah.
and so the cops were taking me off the stage. I was being, the deans
Nice.
of colleges were phoning ahead to the next venue to. They have a Filthy Mouth comedian opening for them. The Lovin' Spoonful, this was for, and the Kingston Trio. A Filthy Mouth comedian was what I was known for. But I didn't mind that as much as I minded the venom of the audience, man. When they don't like you,
Yeah.
they were throwing stuff. You know the armrest, the wooden armrest on old school auditoriums, they're wooden ones, on the metal holders. Well, you can knock those off. If you push them from behind, they go forward and they come off. Well, I was on stage opening for the Lovin' Spoonful in Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. And so I was into I opened with just, okay stuff. And then I was getting into cursing and the marijuana and the drugs and the cursing and the sex and the pot and the religion. And they started to boo me. And I thought,
Really?
I was opening for the Lovin' Spoonfuls. And I said to the audience, and they're going, boo, boo, we don't want to hear this. Tell us about your family. No. So, I talked to them. I said, because they were throwing these wooden things at me. If one of them ever hit me, it would have been gunners. So I stopped.
Luckily, they don't
and I
recruit
just-
baseball players from that neck of the woods, huh?
They what?
They don't recruit baseball players from that neck of the woods.
I guess they didn't have very good aim,
No.
but I'll tell you what, no women were throwing anything. I noticed that. I don't know why. I'm not saying that that's good or bad, but no women were throwing. But what happened was I stopped. I just spoke to them. I said, hey, look, I'm a comedian. This is funny stuff. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm just being funny. Why don't no, we don't want to hear it. Just tell the jokes, tell the funny stuff. So I said, okay, fine, calm down. And they did. They calmed down. So I went into clean material, quote unquote. So I went into, and I was doing all right. I got them right back, and they were laughing at the good stuff, the funny stuff. And so I stopped right in the middle when I got this really big laugh, about 10 minutes into the new stuff. And I said, okay, we're all together now, so now I'm going to talk about the sex stuff. You see, what's this thing between your legs? And whoa, they just got really mad. And I could see on the from the stage, that the guys in the back in the middle rows were starting to pull their wooden armrests off and passing them down to the guys in front because they didn't have any more. They had thrown all theirs.
They had to rearm them.
They were actually passing down wooden arm things to throw down. And in the middle of all that, from the back, I saw a phalanx of cops march down from this wall aisle side and that wall aisle side. 10 cops in each row, and they just marched up on the stage and they pulled me off the stage to the great applause of the audience.
Wow.
And they pulled me off stage and they held me there until the Lovin' Spoonful set up their band and instruments and started to play. I asked them, I said, why are you standing here? I mean, the curtain's closed, they're setting, so we have instructions from the dean to guard him until the Lovin' Spoonful starts playing so he can't run back out on the stage. So that was like really weird, man. So then the next thing, just to close the story, the next thing was Northwestern University up in either Wisconsin or Michigan. I don't know which one. Up there, and when we checked into the hotel, we were just heading towards the elevators, 3 people stopped us. A police captain, a priest and a man in a suit with white hair. And the man in the suit with white hair was the dean of the college. And they said, "Is Larry Henkin here?" And all there was because I traveled with the Love and Spoonful, so all there was 4 guys in the band, me, that's 5, and then 2 managers of theirs. We traveled together. So it was like 5 or 6 or 7 people standing there, and the 3 of them stopped us, this group, and said, "Is Larry Henkin in this group?" And immediately the 2 managers turned to the 5 of us, and they said, without looking at any one of us, and they said, "Go upstairs and go into," and he pointed to the drummer's room, but he didn't say his name. He said, "Go into your room and stay there until we come up, and don't open the door for anybody." So we go up in the elevator to the room, and we stay in there. We'll lock ourselves there. We're laughing, going, "What the hell is going on, man?" So finally, about 5 minutes later, the 2 managers come in. They knock on the door. It's us, let us in. So we let them in, and they said, "Okay, here's the deal. The dean of the college does not want you to go on. Washington University called here and said they've got Love and Spoonful has got a filthy-mouthed comedian opening for them. Don't let him on." So the dean didn't want him to go, want you to go on, but they negotiated with the cop and the priest, who was a little more open-minded, and they said, "Larry can go on." They said to the band, they said, "Larry can go on if he keeps it clean, but as soon as anything untoward is said, we're going to shut off the lights, and we're pulling him off the stage." So that's the deal. Take it or leave it. We're going to dinner. And they left. And so we had to discuss, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I thought, well, no, you got to do your material. I mean, they wanted a riot. That's what they wanted. They
wanted more
loved,
chair. They're more
they
armrests.
wanted Washington, D.C., they would cheer, "No, do more dirty stuff."
It's easy for them to say when they're not in the firing line.
Right.
Well, but
They
I
want
mean,
you
they
to
would have
deplete all
loved
the
it if
armrests before they go up, just in case there's some
I
not
think
fans
I
in
saw
the
them in
crowd.
the back handing armrests out to the fans, to the Love and Spoonful. No, they wanted a riot. I mean, they loved they wouldn't mind it if they caused the riot. No, that was rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
So
it's the publicity
it was
of it. Another
Yeah.
riot breaks out of the
right,
Love and Spoonful concert. Yeah.
But why
So
does
I
the
went
comedian
on.
have to bleed for the cause? Why does the poor lone comedian by himself on stage?
But I went on, and we all decided to vote to just do the straight material, whatever you do the regular show. So I did it, and it was an A+. Laughter's all through. Nobody said anything, and they went on, and so it was just normal. It was just another great, rock and roll concert. So you never know. You just, I mean, people have come up to me, but what I was explaining because people have come up, when I was in nightclubs, people have walked a guy, a big, like looked like a lumberjack, walked across the dance floor towards the, the stage, which is about 5 inches above, in a dance floor thing. A stage is 5 inches. A guy was walking across the dance floor out of the darkness with a beer bottle upside down in his fist, and he was saying, "Get the fuck off the stage and bring on the Kingston Trio." And I go, "You got it, man." Off. I just walked right off, man, because he would have hit me. He was like really angry that I was on the stage talking about marijuana, which my complaint was, no, I'm not Lenny Bruce. I'm not into hard drugs yet.
Yeah.
That's later. I wasn't doing drugs then. So I took umbrage at the insult that they assumed because I was talking about drugs and sex and rock and roll, that I was a druggie like Lenny Bruce, although I looked up to Lenny Bruce. He was my hero. But, I just was naive and a kid who just wanted to be funny. I was a funny guy in high school. So it never occurred to me that, except my manager kept on saying, because he was Woody Allen's manager, I was opening for Woody, too. And he said, "Well, why didn't you put me on television? Woody goes on television. Why not me?" He said, "Larry, you don't have any television material." And I didn't know what he was talking about because I never wrote anything. I would just get up on stage and talk to the people, and if it was funny, I had a photographic memory for laughs. So I could do the exact same thing the next night, only make it only funny and leave out the stuff that wasn't funny. And it's nothing that I practice. It's something that I innately have. and I just used it, so I never had to write. My first 3 minutes would be just me talking to the audience about something that happened today or yesterday. And if it was funny, I'd move it up. It would be the second thing, and then I'd open up with something new the next night.
Mm-hmm.
And that, and it would just move down. And as I worked on it, or as I did it night after night, it would get funnier and funnier because I would drop out the not funny stuff, and it would just move up until, it was like funny enough to close with it. And then, so that's how I was working. But finally, the cops and the beer bottles and the get off the stage and the boo and the hate was too much. So I called my manager and I said, Woody's manager, my manager, Jack Rollins. And I said, look, I can't do this. I'm not Lenny. I'm not George Carlin. I'm not Richie Pryor. I don't want to do this. It's not fun for me, the anger. Mm-hmm. And so he said, well, join Second City. They do the same material, but they own the theater, so they throw those people out, So you have your own audience. So I thought, fine, and I auditioned for Second City, and I got that. And I auditioned with Robin Williams. We auditioned.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't Robin Williams yet, but he had the white bib overalls and the rainbow, suspenders. I knew it was Robin Williams. I mean, he was around Greenwich Village when I was. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we auditioned. We both got in. He went to a different company. I went to St. Louis. I was there for about, we were held over. We were there booked in for 3 months. I think we stayed for 6 months or something like that. And then Paul Sills came, who owns, he's the director of Second City, and he moved me up to Chicago, and I was in the Chicago company. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of us, about 5 of us, quit there.
Why did you end up quitting?
Well, I didn't quit. I say that to make the story shorter. I didn't quit. What was happening was I was hired when I auditioned with I auditioned with Robin Williams and Jack Burns. I don't know if you know who Jack Burns are. Do you? He's the guy who invented and wrote Hee-Haw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when he left Second City with me, we both auditioned for Second City. He was a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. He auditioned with me. All of us together. He wasn't my partner, but at the same time. And so he got in. Robin Williams got in, and I got in. So me and Jack Burns got on the main stage of Second City, but we were the last hired. So there was now 7 people on the stage, and it doesn't work. And I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Improv. It doesn't work because nobody gets enough time on stage to really hone their improvisational skills. It's generally 5 is really the sweet spot.
Oh yeah, I was going to say 5.
You can do it with 6. I don't know why it was always 4 guys and a girl. I never found out that. We experimented in the committee with 3 guys and 2 girls. Hey, far ahead of the curve. But
hey, Larry,
for some reason,
I'm going to have to take a quick break for the radio real quick. I have to go over the comedy rundown. When we come back, I want to hear all about the committee.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right. Here's this week's Comedy Rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Tuesday, February 25th, tonight, open mic at Peach's Grill at 104 Xenia Avenue in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 8 p.m. There's also an open mic at Jimmy's Ladder 11 at 936 Brown Street at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 26th, open mic at Mila's Suburban Cafe at 606 Taywood Road in Englewood at 7 p.m. There's also an open mic at the South Park Tavern at 1301 Wayne Avenue. That show starts at 9 p.m. And also on Wednesday, Jess Hilarious is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Thursday, February 27th, open mic at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 7 p.m. There's also an open mic at Star City Brewing at 319 South 2nd Street in Miamisburg from 7 to 10 p.m. and an open mic at the Barrel House at 417 East 3rd Street from 8:30 to 11. Also on Thursday night, of course, the open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road. That show starts at 10 p.m. Mark Jiggy Jigargian is going to be, I guess I got that right. It's going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. And also on Thursday, Gallagher is going to be at Miami Valley Gaming in the grandstands from 8 to 10 p.m. Friday, February 28th, the Undeniable Comedy Tour at JD Legends at 65 Millard Drive in Franklin. That show's at 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday, February 28th and 29th, Dwight Simmons is at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Friday through Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, Damon Williams is going to be at Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street. And Sunday, March 1st, Wiley's Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. Get out and support your local comics and your local comedy club. I want to say that is it, but there is one more I promised I'd mention. There's a show coming up with Jody McDermott, Kim Sherwood, and Homer Shadowheart out of Cincinnati. It's going to be upstairs at Moe's at 128 East Broadway Street, in Granville, Ohio. That's Saturday, February 29th at 8 p.m. That is it. As always, check out Wiley'sComedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And don't forget to check out our open mics on Monday night at the Barrel in Springboro at 7 p.m. and at the Stage Door in Dayton at 8:30. All right, with that out of the way, we're going to play a quick song, and we will be back here shortly to talk more with Larry Hankin. Here is Mr. Stone King's Mission of Mercy. All right, back to it.
Say the day he left, faded footsteps on hot cement. I don't know where he went, but he left in a hurry. He's saying something about a mission of mercy. Mama hasn't been sleeping well at all. She lies stretched out in the hall, waiting for him to call. All the mercy of his mission still isn't quite clear. He had a different angle than what it would appear. Now, I don't know where he went, but he left in such a hurry. He's saying something about a mission of mercy. Mama hasn't been sleeping well at all, as she lies stretched out in the hall, waiting for him to call us. Please someday, at least you could explain. Call us, please, someday. Oh, I never knew mercy could feel this way. Mama hasn't been sleeping well at all, as she lies stretched out in the hall. It doesn't seem like my mama at all. She's waiting there for him to call us. Please someday, at least you could explain. Call us, please someday. Oh, I never knew mercy could feel this way. I never knew mercy could feel this way.
Federales turned Lieutenant Evans' body over to the Cartagena morgue. I just paid a visit to the coroner.
Hey, this is Don Smith from the Life Radio Show. Do you like telling jokes? Are you the class clown? Do your friends always tell you you're funny? You want to prove them wrong? Well, nearly every Sunday, Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District brings you Wiley's Sunday Comics. You can be the one on stage making people laugh. Or not. All you have to do is send an email to Wiley'sSundayComics@gmail.com and follow the instructions in the reply email, and you can tell jokes at Ohio's oldest comedy club.
Hi, this is Haywood Banks at Wiley's Comedy Club in Dayton, and you're listening to the Life Radio Show at WWSU, Dayton's Right Choice.
Hello.
Charlie Hester is missing.
She is missing in action.
She stayed in Illinois.
Hopefully, she's surviving the snowstorm.
Yes, it's bad out there. It's bad out there.
It's
Larry
bad.
Hankin is still on the phone with us.
Are you kidding? Are you guys in a snowstorm right now?
Not us. We're below the snow line.
I'm picking up. I had another co-host that was going to come in with me. She hasn't been on the show in like 6 months. But apparently the weather out in Danville, Illinois is getting bad.
Far enough north in Illinois, yeah.
So, yeah, she didn't want to make the trip all the way over here and get stuck.
She didn't want to brave a snowstorm
Didn't
to
want
come
to
on
brave
your
a
show,
snowstorm
Don?
to come over on this
talk
show
with
for
you
free.
guys
Exact.
and
Can you
turn it
believe
down.
that? A 3-hour drive in the snowstorm, and that's too much, apparently.
Here.
So.
I'm sorry. I cannot condone that. That's
See, I'm
that's
glad
a bit much.
I'm glad you're backing me up on this.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, we were talking with you. You mentioned the committee just we went to break. I want to hear more about the committee because that's you were a co-founder with
Exactly,
a lot of other big names.
Well, they weren't big names at the time.
Well, no, not at the time. Not at the time.
But Howard Hessman, Mel Stewart, who else? Carl Gottlieb. Did you know Carl Gottlieb was in the committee?
I did. Yeah, Carl Gottlieb's
you do?
the screenwriter for the movie Jaws as well as The Jerk. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote all the Jaws movies.
Yeah.
All of them. Yeah.
Even the
He's
3D
pretty
one?
cool. I don't know. I know he wrote the first 3, definitely. He wrote the first 3. And then I think he just got bored, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you just.
He's like, can
how
we do
many
giant
ti-
squids? Giant.
Right.
Yeah, because how many stories can you come up with about a fish? I mean, that's what Carl says, not me.
Well,
He calls it the fish movie. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, if they have Sharknado, they can come up with endless stories
Does
about
he?
fish.
Does he?
Well,
He
but
not
he
order
didn't wa-
fish at a restaurant because he's so? Because it's like traumatic for him.
No, just the writing of any kind of boat movie. It's kind of
If there's a boat in it, he's out.
yeah.
I'm going to go touch the butt.
Because I mean, you have no idea. Maybe you do. I didn't. He told me this. We were talking about the other day that he has gotten into the argot and the zeitgeist of America. In other words, the movie Jaws is now in the conversation of America. It's now a piece of trivia.
Oh yeah,
about America. And well, to be a part of that is great because the money is great. But there's a downside that's really huge, and that is nobody will talk to you about anything but this fish.
Yeah,
and it gets a little dicey after a while. I mean, when nobody. I mean, you have no idea. I've been with them, on tours. It's kind of weird that people pick up on that so much and are into it. And it's so ubiquitous. You can talk to anybody, and they've seen a Jaws movie. I mean, that's just so it's really weird. But he was in the committee, and I don't know who else do you think is famous because they're just friends of mine. I don't know if they're famous or not. Peter Bonners, right? Peter Bonners from the TV show. He was a director. Alan Meyerson became a big director. He was the director of the committee. He ran it. Peter Bonners became a really big comedy star in some comedy thing, and he was a big director. Carl Gottlieb wrote. Mel Stewart was a big actor. Howard Hessman was in WKRP.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry Hankin was in, Friends and
187 other things according to IMDb.
At least,
right.
Nominated for an Oscar, etc. Whatever.
Yeah, we all did our thing. I didn't want to leave. Frankly, I was the only one of all the people, and there was many different companies. I was there for 10 years. I never wanted to leave. I I was forced to leave because the committee closed.
Oh.
That was the only reason I got off the stage and went down south.
What was so great about it? Like, what was your thing that you're really like, I could just stay here forever?
We were very popular in the city and all over America, but we couldn't tap into that. But we were known if we went anywhere. Oh, the committee, I know. But also, we were very popular in the city, which is a very cool city to be very popular in.
San
We were
Francisco?
known. San Francisco, and we
Yeah.
were invited to be the heads of this and give speeches to the
Yeah.
museum and this company, and so that was nice that we were well known and accepted and thought
Yeah.
of as a big hit,
Like part of a community.
and part of the community, and also that was the perks. That wasn't the reason that I wanted to do it. The reason that I wanted to do it and wanted to stay there was because it was the freedom of speaking my mind in the way that I wanted to through my own characters with my own words,
Yeah.
just through the suggestions of strangers from the audience.
Yeah.
But we were doing our things, and the way I expressed it to other people was eventually I started to direct the company because everybody was leaving to go to Hollywood, and I really didn't want to. So I was directing companies, and one of the people who were reviewing me for my new show I was opening as a director, and they said, what is it that's different between, you being on stage and you directing an improvisational company? And I said, the whole point of this is that I feel as a director, I've got 5 people between me and the audience in that I could see where a scene should go. Now, when you improvise something, it kind of works the first time. It's an improv, but even if it works kind of, that's great. The audience loves it because they know you're making it up. They just hollered out some words and you made it into a scene.
Yeah.
But the director will then say, "Hey, there's kind of an intelligence. There's a point to that scene. I think we should work on it. So do it the next night." Well, you do it the next night and it gets better and better, and yet there's no written words. You just, say like, work on the, she was serving you breakfast, so work on the serving part there. Well, what are you giving him? And work on the eating. What are, the different things. Butter your bread. If she gives you bread, use it. So there those kind of directions where, okay, and then you just go in and kind of use it the way you want. So it was the freedom of expression that I was doing what I wanted, given suggestions of other people, and some of them were, really cool.
Do you think there's
that's why I want to say
connection between, it sounds like a lot of directors came out of the committee.
Right.
And it's interesting because you usually think of writers coming out of stand-up. But is there a connection, you think, with improv and becoming directors? Because over time, that kind of the collaborative environment, and at least each person plays a role of kind of editing each other and coaching each other.
Well, you're right now, but in the beginning, no. If you were known as an improvisational actor, you could not get a job in Hollywood. So I just want to step on that about, great directors come from improvisation. Yeah, now, once Belushi, broke the mold, but I was before Belushi and Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Belushi made it okay. But before that, if Second City or the committee was on your resume, that was it. No job.
Wow.
Why
you
was there
people
that?
just you people just make up your own words and walk around. No, you memorize words. No, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I got really PO'd at that. Again, the attitude. What do you mean? That's bullshit. But after Belushi, you're so right away. I would audition for something, and that was okay to put it on your resume. So here's what I would get. Oh, you were in the committee. Do you know Bob Jones? No, who the hell is Bob Jones? Well, he put it on his, he said he worked for the committee up in San Francisco for 2 years. Bullshit, I directed the company for 5 years. And everybody was putting it on their resume.
Hey, we have to cut you off, and I have to remind you, Larry, to keep the language clean. This is radio.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry about that.
Okay, you didn't say anything.
I can,
You know.
so it's all right. I can only dump so many times.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's all right. Sorry.
No worries. No worries.
So anyway, they just would put it on, and then I would get really PO'd about what. All of a sudden, everybody was in the committee because it was close up north.
Yeah.
If you were in Second City, they would chat because they had Belushi was on television, so they would call or they would. But the committee, it was up north. Yeah, sure, they probably were in it.
Yeah.
So they would be cutting into our real, ability to get the job. And then after a while, now it doesn't matter. You put it on. It's just another thing that you were in.
It's another one of your 187 credits.
Yeah, it means nothing whether you're in the committee or Second City or, it's fine now. But in the beginning, it really was a black mark on your resume.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, because when we went down there and found that out, it was, what? We were a big hit. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. That you didn't have like an industrial design degree where you could memorize stuff.
Right.
Like somehow you'd hit your
head
head too many times and now I can
was
only
talking to
make up words.
I was talking to my sister last night, and she said, "You know what your problem is, Larry?" I go, "No, what?" She says, "Your IQ is too high. That's your problem."
That's what my family always told me. They're like, "No, the world is wrong. You're right." I'm not really sure if they were right, but and if that served me well in life.
Well, what they said, that the world was wrong and you were right, and they didn't like that.
They're nonconformist. Well, they're nonconformists. They were nerds growing up, and so they know that there's a bias where there's the jocks and the cheerleaders, and that's the right way. And you're always going to be the outsider. You're always going to be the wrong way. Supposedly.
Did your mother, Adrian? Did your mother go around asking random men on the street how to keep you from coloring outside the lines?
No, but she did. I know she did scold a friend for telling me that God made trees because they wanted to raise me as from a scientific background.
I thought they were going to raise you as a tree.
And they were going to, I love trees, ironically. So I probably did my message probably as a child. It got encoded as trees are God. That's probably how it got translated in my 5-year-old mind. But no, she used to do things like she would misappropriate school time and school resources all the time. She blackmailed one of her nun teachers, the principal. So that's how I was raised. But
well, they sound like my parents, but I don't know if they were nerds. You said?
Yeah, nerds.
Oh, my parents were just, right-wing conservative weirdos. Man.
Yeah,
they just
weirdos of different stripe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I tell you. Oh, quickly, my sister when we were young and kids, like 17 and 18, she was dating a Spanish guy. Now, my parents used the bad word for Spanish people. To describe them, and he would come to me and he'd say, "Your younger sister is dating one of them. You tell your sister no, that's wrong." And I would say, "I'm not going to do that. It's not wrong. I don't know where you're at, but no." So I refused, and then to convince me, what he did was he came. How do I explain this? He one night he saw her sneak out of the house and to go date this boyfriend of hers that he didn't want her to date. But he told me, he said he followed them. He heard her sneak out of the house. So he followed her out, and she went to the corner and got in the car, and they drove off. So he ran back to the house. It's a half a block to the house, or less than to the corner. Got in the car and followed them to his house. He's a Catholic, and he lives with his mother, and they watch television. He thought this is the worst thing that ever happened to his religion.
Wow.
He just thought, I thought, Dad, that's crazy. So what he did was, I didn't find this out until the next. Actually, that very night, I also used to sneak out of the house. I mean, that's the kind of parents. That's the kind of parents I had. I mean, they were weird. They locked you. Anyway. So I went out on my days. I came home earlier than my sister for that night. They were still at the house watching television. I come in, and all the doorknobs, this is a private house, there was a front door and a back door. All the doorknobs were taken off.
Oh my gosh.
That is my dad right there. That is something my dad would do.
And I had to climb in a window that I knew I could climb in case they locked the door. No doorknobs. So I climbed in, the basement window, and I went to bed, and I noticed, now upstairs there's 3 bedrooms. There's my bedroom, there's the sister's bedroom, and then there's the main bedroom with the parents. And I noticed my sister's door was closed. That never happens. Mm-hmm. And the doorknob was gone on my sister's door. Then I went to bed. The next day I woke up and I asked my dad, and my sister was in her room, asleep, and I asked my dad, I said, what the hell, why did you take the doorknobs? What was that all about? He said, I wanted to prove to your sister that I knew she was dating that guy. So she had to knock to get in. She didn't know about this door to, this window that I could sneak in. She didn't know about that. So, I mean, that's the kind of weird, that's where I came from. So that's, I guess, where the attitude.
Yeah. It also sounds
crazy,
a bit like
man.
your creative problem solving that
Yeah,
trickled into your
absolutely,
trying to use
absolutely.
the metal shop.
Maybe he should play for your D&D campaigns.
As much as I hate to do this, we're running out of time. I want to give you like 2 or 3 minutes just to push any social media if you want to put it out there, and maybe talk a little bit about your current projects real quick.
Okay. The immediate thing that I want to tell everybody is my website. It's in beta now. It's being built, but you can go there, and it'll have my art and my autobiography and my pictures and my drawings and my writing and everything on there. It's called TheRealLarryHankin.com. TheRealLarryHankin.com. And the reason it's TheRealLarryHankin.com is because LarryHankin.com is owned by somebody else, and they want to charge me for it.
Of course.
And I won't pay. So don't go there. Go to TheRealLarryHankin.com. The other thing is if you go to my website, I have a book for sale. Mm-hmm. It's on Amazon or any place. It's either an ebook for $2.99 or it's a hardcover you can get at Amazon or Barnes & Noble or my website or wherever. So those are the 2 things that I'm pushing. The book is satire. It's funny fables and political satire and a homeless satire. I was homeless for a year, so I know what I'm talking about. And the last thing is, let me see. Yeah, I'm writing a screenplay right now. It's called A Night in the Country. It's called A Night in the Country, and it'll be out maybe in a year or so. But it's a vampire comedy.
Oh, that sounds like
That's right up my alley.
absolutely.
Oh, it's great. It's really funny. I was reading it last night. I laughed out loud.
I look forward to
I
it.
hadn't read it in 5 days. So, in other words, you forget, but I have to rewrite it one more time, and then it'll be. But it's funny, it was hard to write, but it's okay. So that's all I have to say. Those 3 things.
Well, I really appreciate you calling in. We could go another hour
so
probably.
much. There's so much I would
we've
love to
only
talk
scratched
about.
the surface of Larry Hankins.
Yeah, right. I go deep.
You
deep.
get
and my
very
IQ
deep,
is
very
too
deep.
high. Yeah.
Gotta get the golden pocket.
There you go. Well, thanks so much for calling
Thank
in.
you.
It's been great talking to you. We're going to take a little break for the top of the hour, and we'll be back here shortly.
Okay.
Yep.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Patrick.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river.
Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We just finished talking with Larry Hankin. A lot of fun there. I'm still in here with Adrian Miller.
I'm still here.
You're still here. You did not get blown away in the snowstorm.
I can say I've not gone MIA yet.
Right. The winds of Danville, Illinois, have not blown you away.
No.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I have to mess with you.
So.
But we have Russell Rapp getting ready to call in here shortly, I hope. And we'll have fun with that. It was fun talking to Larry. Again, let me tell you guys about the show this Saturday, Upstairs at Moe's. It's Upstairs at Moe's is the name of the bar.
Upstairs at Moe's.
Upstairs at Moe's.
It's not just some creepy guy's attic.
It might be.
You're probably going to get murdered.
It might be, but it's at 128 East Broadway Street in Granville, Ohio. This Saturday at 8 p.m. Bring your own tarp and chloroform, and
and black bags and duct tape.
Right. Bring everything you need. It's going to be Jody McDermott, Kim Sherwood, and Homer Shadowheart performing at that show. I told him I'd push that a couple times because I tried to. See what? Well, that's what happened. I tried to get, I tried to get some of those. I tried to get Jody on because she's on the show. I tried to get her on after Charlie canceled, and then after we found out that Autumn is in Jamaica. And since I said it again, I'm deducting another point just because I said it again. So that's it.
Gross.
The nerve.
Who needs vitamin D and tans?
Yes, exactly.
Not me, says the vampire. Not me. Not going to be a pile of ash. Not on my watch.
Exactly. Yeah, that would vampire. You would not last. Yeah, very well in Jamaica.
Today, the guy I work for was like, "This house would be perfect for you. It has a jacuzzi and an in-ground swimming pool." And I'm like,
"Nope,
no,
wrong.
I am a vampire, and I would burn so bad."
If it had a dungeon and a casket, I'm in.
Yes, if it had someone who was any kind of dungeon, really. I mean, that's what I call the two Colbins in my current abode. I tell people I bring children over. There are so many nieces and nephews, not random children from the street.
You said Colbins?
They're Colbins.
Oh, do tell.
You know what a Colbin is?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're two Colbins. Apparently, they went hardcore on stocking up for the winter at this particular house. So they had two entryways where they would stock up almost like a third of the basement with coal.
Nice.
Apparently, and they went ham on it, and
they went ham on the coal.
It was
I'm going to write that down because that may be an episode title.
Ham on the coal.
Going ham on the coal.
But now it just kind of looks like I have two random dungeons that I keep captives in because they're just these doors and they're all walled off. And you're like, it's like, what are those? And it's like, this is our dungeons over here. And one of them doesn't have a light in it, and it still has like the coal dust on the walls.
Nice.
So it's just a dark.
I know my brother's house has a coal chute down into his crawl space.
Yeah. They blocked them up with those glass block things. So, but it does not illuminate, especially that one dark one. It just really, and it does leak a little bit.
So it's a good place for your casket.
Oh,
Now, do you have to sleep on the dirt from Chicago? Because you're from Chicago.
Yes.
Do you have to carry that with you and sleep on the dirt?
Yes, specifically Park Ridge. Yes, I have to only sleep on Park Ridge soil. That is my place of birth. Obviously, being a vampire, it wasn't called Park Ridge then. It's a long Native American. You won't remember. It's fine.
Okay. Well, because this was long before
French,
that was.
It's the French name for the fort settlement that was there. But
so you're not, even as a vampire, you're not really that old because it was still the French were there at the time.
You have to rub it in. It's not polite to ask a vampire's age.
Well, no, I didn't ask. I was just going based on historical facts.
Sure. I know. I probably shouldn't give you so many details.
Right. You're giving it away too.
I am. And my other vampire friends really tell me that I should just be more aloof.
Right.
That's what vampires are known for. Cool. European, but I dropped my French accent.
You're a very chatty vampire. That's
why
we like having you on the show.
I love people. I love people.
You're a people buyer.
I love them. I love them. Love them.
Excellent.
They are so good. Especially my Colbin late at night. Snack.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Some people are
snack. You take them down to the Colbin. Do they go willingly? Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I live down the road from two bars.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
And they have cheap
then.
drinks.
That's perfect.
Cheap
Yeah.
well drinks.
Well, yeah, because that way when you drink their blood, you get a buzz too.
Oh, yeah. That's
perfect.
That's sort of like people are always like, oh, I can't eat anymore. I can't drink anymore. I'm like, dummy. You get a hit off of what they just consumed like less than 24 hours ago. And one of them's a Mexican place, cheap tacos.
There you go. There you go.
We didn't have tacos back then.
Now,
in all this way up north.
Since you're just drinking their blood, do you get the taco flavor in that? Does that really flavor?
Yeah, well, it's like
it
on the skin a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right,
They're kind of marinated.
Right.
It's like a light marinade.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
like a
makes
dry
sense.
rub marinade, depending. Sometimes with my D&D, I get a little Cheeto dust, kind of in there.
Yeah,
it kind of adds a little little taste of something. That's about all I can say about that.
So you have
stock.
dungeons and you're a dungeon master.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it is. I am kind of living my
great
best life.
setup.
I mean, I didn't expect in Dayton, I didn't expect
Who
that
knew?
here.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought like Cincinnati maybe. Whoa, what was that?
It was the Mountain Dew talking back to me.
It wasn't.
Okay.
You weren't scared because it
I
was
think
too
he got
open.
a little
It was a
scared
little
about
spook.
that, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's
Not
hoping
what?
you don't have a taste for Mountain Dew in the blood, and that's the way.
I mean, a lot of geeks. I
Well,
do
yeah,
the
that
do.
would. Yep, you would have to. Yeah,
Osmosis.
I only do it on Tuesdays before before Don's show.
you only do the do. Yep, you got to get all hopped up on Mountain Dew to be part of this show.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Russell hasn't called in yet. He does not have enough dew in him.
True.
At this point.
True. I mean, as much as getting like a buzz from the bar people, getting a buzz from like the early birds is really really nice.
The
yeah,
early
the ones
birds.
who got they got their coffee just going to the Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
But it's really tough.
Yeah,
it's really
so
got to swoop in before the sun comes up, though. That's the thing.
That's true.
It's really
that's
kind of.
true. Yeah.
I love the
that's
pumpkin
risky.
spice.
That's you like the
Sometimes
the
I
thrill
like
of
the
that.
danger, and I think that's why I look forward to pumpkin spice season because that's when the sun starts going down late enough, or it comes up. It's hard because I live opposite of everybody else.
Right. Yeah. It's
but
it's
it's
tricky.
going. The sun is coming up later, and I can finally get a hit off of that sweet caffeine and pumpkin spice. So when it's
Nice.
like pumpkin spice season comes around, I'm like, I get my extra silent Uggs on.
Now, have you ever?
Uggs?
Yeah, extra silent. Yeah,
Right.
I've
you
put
gotta
like
have. Yeah. You gotta be. They're sneaking.
they're
up.
soft. They're basically like ninja slippers.
Ninja
I mean,
Uggs.
Kind of
yeah,
like what I'm wearing today.
yeah, exactly,
right.
exactly. It's comfy.
Oh, I thought those were socks.
Nope. Well, they
Exactly.
kind of are, but
Well,
they
yeah,
got
but they have soul.
They have
Patrick.
soul.
They have soul, unlike me.
You got socks with soul.
Unlike me, as a vampire, I
Right,
don't
'cause you're a
have
vampire.
a soul.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, you can get up early and you can get that early worm, so to speak.
Yeah, the early worm gets
Yeah, and
the
then you're like, woo, and then
the
I can't
worm?
get in the casket. You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
Yeah, like, lying in
you
the
don't
casket,
want to
like,
get
"Ugh."
you don't want to get all hopped up.
But I
on
can't like get up
caffeine
and do
then-
anything. It's kind of a curse. Like it's to get that little buzz, but then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go watch a show. Oh, that's right, I'm a vampire.
Right,
But I just
exactly.
bring my phone in now. I mean, that's what I cannot speak. This era, guys, underrated. Everyone always complains about this era, and it's a tyrant or something taking over. But you know what? There's always been some tyrant taking over. Let me tell you. Literally, there was a civil war. Okay, it was not great. I mean, it was great for me because, bodies go missing and nobody notices. But I had some times. Okay, it was great. But it wasn't great for you flesh folks and
flesh folks.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah, we're
yet,
not.
So
Yeah. Oh, thanks. You're such a baby. That's the only reason why I haven't murdered you yet. It would be cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
I have ethics.
unusual
I have
punishment.
ethics. I would not eat veal.
Really? Well,
I mean, I don't
that's
now.
calf.
Obviously, it's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
easy.
that's-
Yeah, you're like a veal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, some of us
You're
have
like,
things. we
Patrick
just-
is like a little
veal.
milk.
Yeah, it's like being a
little
pescatarian.
milk-fed veal.
It's
On
like
coal.
On coal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like a
well,
dew-
you'd be down in the coal chute in the coal pit.
a
Yeah.
dew-filled boy. That's what he is.
Right.
I
Right,
guess
yeah,
I made-
not milk. You're dew fed.
I mean, sweet. People tell me delicious, but
Yeah.
I just it's like being a pescatarian. I
Right,
just
right.
I'm
That's
like, no, there's
little
like a
fishy to
cutoff
me.
in age. I just feel like you should live a little. I like a nice aged blood. I'm not gonna lie.
That makes that.
Yeah, I'm
well,
not everyone's
yeah,
into
yeah,
it, but I
yeah.
like it. I like little cancer cells
You have to
floating
open
around
them up
in
and
there.
let them breathe a little bit. or-
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like a,
And the thing is, if
like
they,
a
if
fine
they're,
Merlot.
if they're too young, you open them up and the blood just goes spurting everywhere. It's a mess, and then it's.
I mean,
just
I'm not
dry.
a vampire, but I'm a serial killer, so I get it.
Yeah, so you get it. You've been at Moe's. You've been in upstairs Moe's place, right?
Dang it, Applejack.
Who?
Applejack. Don't you remember him? He was one of your killers as a serial killer.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were going to talk about
we all
upstairs at
missed
Moe's
him.
again.
Yeah.
And the reason you're pushing it so hard is because you're Mo.
Captain
Right.
Crunch
You're
is
gonna be
next
waiting
on
there
your
with a
hit.
chainsaw.
I'm dragging him in.
Captain Crunch is next on your hit list.
There's
that's
a
for
cover.
No,
sure.
I'm not a fan of semen.
That's great.
That's wrong.
Is that another show title?
I'm not a fan of semen.
Let me write it down since we don't have Russell yet.
Captain Crunch? I'm not a fan of semen.
That was great.
I gotta make sure I spell that correctly.
I did have to Sunday I DM'd. It went pretty well. I had to play a Nothic. And the Nothic is likes flesh. It'll be paid off with flesh. It knows things. It's gone insane. But I had to mimic eating people more than a few times.
Wow.
Because they decided, we'll bribe her. Well, him. I guess it was a guy. I don't know. Gender neutral, really. Who knows what a giant eye beast is?
Right. Yeah. They're pretty much gender neutral.
Who knows? But it was. But they kept feeding me people.
I guess it's preferred
to try to get
pronoun.
information.
I guess its preferred pronoun would be I.
Yeah, I. Just I.
just I.
Yeah, but that was their trying to bribe me not to kill them / help them. Was anytime they would kill someone in another room, they'd come drag it back to my crevasse, my home, my crevasse.
I think dragging it back to my crevasse is
my
another
crevasse.
one.
And and then I was like,
That's great audio right there.
Yeah.
That should be a
I'm
sound
gonna
effect.
loop that at the end of the show.
It really hurt my
effect.
voice, though. I'm not gonna lie, because not that part, but because I didn't know what voice I was gonna do. What was it?
You should combine that sound effect with a loop of Holly's ha ha.
Yeah, yeah. That's our own. That would be.
See,
we have to create our
Holly
own
Shock has agreed
trademark
on
monster.
March 10th when Autumn the Hatchet Hatcher goes up against Scotty Powder Donut Maze.
Are you
And
gonna
then-
have a bracket for this?
What's that?
Are you gonna have a bracket for this? Is this like March Madness?
We should put all of the guest co-hosts to compete with each other.
Now, how
We
do they
should just-
win?
That would be great.
How do you? Is it like whose line the points are made up and they don't matter?
Exactly.
I got fake euros you could give out as points.
Basically, at
Do
the
you
end of it, I'm going to give my golden cock to whoever I want.
Just don't give it to the C-Man.
Right.
But no semen.
Right. No semen.
You know, Seaman has a pet named Swallow.
I remember that. Yes, that was a great episode of South Park, right? Yeah, but Seaman. Yep, come Swallow.
Come Swallow. That was the
That
greatest
is just
line.
wrong. That is just wrong. Should we hit some news stories?
Yeah, let's do it.
Since we may
Let's
not.
do it.
This is a late entry news story.
Whoa.
That after I already printed the news, before I was leaving the house
Breaking
this morning,
news.
I found this one. So this is actually breaking news.
Breaking news, folks.
Out of Louisiana.
Out of Louisiana.
Out of Louisiana, which is close to Florida. It's swampy. It's swampy and nuts.
It's nearby, yeah.
Louisiana woman allegedly caught with meth hidden in her vagina says she didn't know where the drugs came from, police said. Ashley Beth Rowland, 23 years old, was accused on July 31st of stealing $5,000 from the apartment of a man she'd been staying with for about a week.
Oh,
according to documents published by the Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Office. Parish Sheriff.
I think you got to say it with
The
the
Parish
right
Sheriff's
accent.
Office, yeah.
Parish Sheriff's Office.
The man told the West Monroe Police Department that while he was showering, Rowland swiped his cash and left. Rowland allegedly confessed to the police she did take the man's money and left his apartment. The document said a female corrections officer later searched Rowland and inside of Rowland's vagina discovered $6,233, along with a clear plastic bag of roughly 1 gram of meth, which Roland denied was hers. I'm holding it for somebody else. Roland was arrested and charged with theft and narcotics possession. Online records from the sheriff's office state, as of Tuesday, she remains behind bars in lieu of an $8,000 bond. $8,000 bond.
Is this for your Tennessee comes out?
Yes. No, an $8,000 bond, which she was almost able to cover with the cash in her vagina. So that's very convenient. Yeah, she had to raise the rest.
It's the most expensive vagina I've ever heard of.
Yep, she to raise the rest, she started to go F me again. I didn't want to say the rest of it. So yeah, it's not mine.
People losing a tampon.
What's that?
I've heard of people losing a tampon
up
their vajayjay, but
right, a gram of meth and $6,233.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy had a lot of money laying around his apartment.
That's some change between those couch cushions.
Yeah.
I think that's the other end.
I mean, wow, that's that. You know, in D&D we have an item. What is it called? The bag of holding. It's an interdimensional portal. It's bigger on the inside. It can hold unlimited things.
There
Are we
you
sure
go.
she doesn't
Yeah,
have a vajayjay of holding?
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a whole house up there. There's
a whole house.
I don't know, a weapon cache.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if she can.
Potions. I mean, Beth obviously
There's
is the type
probably
of potion.
an entire bank. She was just making a deposit.
Yeah.
She was being responsible. It's a
she was
savings
saving
account.
it. It was a savings account.
Exactly.
The interest is, the little bit you get once a month.
Just be glad it wasn't a sperm bank that she has.
Right. I'm sure there's one of those up there too.
That's
probably the biggest cash she has. Is this?
When you're looking for a loan, you really just need to go to this woman's vajayjay and make a few rounds.
Right.
Inside. Be
Where
like,
do you-
hello,
now,
I
yeah,
would.
where do you put your
looking for a
ATM
loan.
card?
Now, believe it or not, real story.
This wasn't a real story. Are you saying this wasn't a real story?
What I'm about to say is
I feel
a
like
real
anytime
story.
you say it's a real story,
So
we're gonna have to check.
it was in the
Snopes.
news. There was a woman
Again,
who got
in this
a
day
deer.
and age, we're gonna have to check
Fake
Snopes.
news. Yes.
There was a woman who got a deer tongue stuck in her vagina, and it started rotting up there, and she had to go to the hospital.
Was the deer still attached?
No, it was just the
like
tongue.
A peanut butter experiment.
So
She didn't have a
apparently,
dog.
her husband was a hunter and hunted a deer head, and she cut off the tongue and tried to pleasure herself with it, and it got stuck up there, and it rotted up there a little bit.
That is some
psycho
shiitake right there. That is. I would just I haven't been keeping up on The Walking Dead. Hashtag spoilers.
That would be the licking dead. At that point.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Apparently,
Wow.
Negan made out with. There's this woman who's part of some group, and they wear walker skins as faces to try to blend in. So they basically skin a
When
walker.
you say walker skins,
zombie.
I think
They take
just
a-
decorations for old people.
Yeah, no, not as adorable as that. This
Got a
is,
new walker skin. Look at this.
You're thinking of something adorable. She's
Right.
taking zombies,
Okay.
skinning their face off,
Oh, okay.
wearing it as a hood so,
only,
they can blend in.
So only slightly
and
adorable.
so she's wearing that, and Negan and her taking a little frolic out in the woods and start, getting all sexy time. And,
right.
and she's like, do you want...
as people do when
And
they
she's
frolic
like,
in the
do you
woods.
want me to take it off? And he's like, no, actually, I kind of like it.
That's kinky.
And everyone
right
was
there,
like, the gifts the next day were people destroying their TVs, just being like,
Hey, don't.
I'm sorry to spoil The Walking
anybody
Dead
else's
for the
kink.
10 people still watching. I
Yeah.
think this is their jump the shark moment, personally.
I
I had
think-
to do a whole dive to be
I've
like,
I've
what is
never.
happening?
I watched the first episode and I had enough. I really did. It's just something I couldn't get into.
I think the first season was pretty good, and
I think
see,
I'm a maintenance tech, so when I see that this guy's waking up in the hospital weeks and weeks
I
after, and the
know.
electricity's still flickering, but there's no power anywhere else, and everybody says, "Well, they got emergency generators." It's like, yeah, even with 20,000 gallons of fuel. If
Somebody
it was
has to
completely
be.
full when that happened, because I test generators,
Yeah.
I work in medical
Yeah, you work in a
facilities. That's what
hospital.
I do. It's not going to last 3
No.
weeks. it's going to last at the most 2 days.
I've had the same question, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so when I see something like that, it's just like, and I'm done. I'm out. I can't do this.
Are there other things your profession has, like other not your life, obviously, it probably has, but are there shows and movies that your job has ruined for you because you know too much about the basic?
There are a couple. I mean, even I don't know. I don't say ruined. Scrubs. I liked Scrubs until I started working in a hospital, and it's like, okay, they're calling this guy a maintenance man. He's a janitor.
Yeah.
That I'm a maintenance man. I don't mop a floor.
No.
Not going to happen.
No.
I fix things.
No, it's like when people call me a ghoul. Right. All undead are not the same.
No, not at all.
Please do not call me a ghoul.
Yeah.
Also, BT dubs, that's a slur, okay, in our community. So, anyway.
BT dubs.
I try to stay up on the lingo. Right. You know, I gotta trick those young college students occasionally. Yeah. The ones that are over the line in appropriate age. You know, the ones who are taking their 5th year. You know, their mommy and daddy sends them. Those are the ones, preferably.
I wonder if Russell's going to call in fashionably late like Derek did a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you do the news story about the Russian propaganda station?
I don't
Missouri?
think I did.
My mother sent it to me because she was like, "This would be great for Don."
Do you have it? Do you have it handy? Do you want?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Pull it up. Whip it out.
Whip it out. Whip it out. I'm going for that golden cock right now. I'm going for it.
Yeah, all right.
Gotta find my mom's text.
The golden cock and the $6,000 vagina.
Yes, there you go. There you go. That's
it.
Vegas, baby. No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say at this point.
I don't think I want to know how expensive vagina is out in Vegas.
Okay, well, yeah. Some things you just don't have. You don't have to know everything, Patrick. Some things you can just imagine. You can just imagine $1 vagina in Vegas. That's they probably have meth stuffed up there too.
Well, here's what she said.
Okay.
Did you see Radio Sputnik transmitting Russia messages from Missouri, U.S.? U.S. radio announcers, Russian propaganda, and from Missouri. Might be interesting for your radio. But yeah, it's apparently they have like Sputnik has bought radio stations like in randomly in Missouri. Just like the United States has like America Radio or whatever it's called.
Right.
Abroad, I guess they're doing the same thing here to have like pro-Russian, sort of like RT Media and stuff like that. I don't know if you ever end up on that. Yep. And it's flagged a lot of times now on YouTube where it's like, this is like they're the major investors is the Qatar government.
Sometimes they do it for Canadian news agencies too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's not necessarily. I'm just saying it's across the board.
It's too friendly out there.
It's far too friendly, eh?
They're like, we got to disclose that this is funded by the government.
Yeah. Oh, the Canadian government's paying for this, eh?
We are so sorry. We're so sorry.
We're sorry. We're real sorry. We're real sorry to have to break it to you. Somehow slipped into Irish there for a second.
I can't do it either. I don't. When I hear a Canadian accent, I'm like, Canadian. That's what that is. Usually because they say a boot, and then I'm like, what?
That's what it's all about.
A boot, and I'm like, what? But this is a Canadian. I thought they were an American. You almost got me. But then you said about.
I guess we're going to have to go ahead and take a break, Patrick.
I guess we are.
Yeah, it's that time. So what have I got? Potter's Field, A Peaceful Man. Hit it. We'll be back shortly with maybe just us, maybe a guest. News stories either way. News stories for everyone. Check under your seats. You have a news story. All right, Patrick, get me out of here. I'm stupid.
Nothing came over.
dead on planet bullshit in the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks. To the live radio show, we're researching if they have glasses with rear view mirrors because I'm paranoid about who's coming up behind me.
Yeah, you never know. There might be a serial killer right behind you in that window.
Aquafina.
Aquafina.
When you're about to be chased by a serial killer, every last girl trusts the brand Aquafina. The best tap water you can find on shelves.
It gives you superpowers.
Yes, yes. It gives you wings.
Fight off those creepy men behind you.
Yep. You'll be the one who outruns, and holds a vigil for your fallen friends.
Outhydrates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Outhydrate
your enemies.
Aquafina, call us. We have so many ideas for your next viral campaign.
Outhydrate your enemies.
I think you mean drown them.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Well, that's overhydrate.
Well, see, that would be the sequel to that ad. Would be
right.
Yeah, it would be drowning the person because the last girl always has to come back and finish it. Right.
Yes.
The first film
or
you survive. Water. The second film is the one where you come back and there's like new campers. And they're all dying. But now you're like, no, we have to take him out this time. I'm the only one who knows his weaknesses. And I will not stand for more teenage blood.
All right, let's hit some news stories since there is still no sign of Russell. That's a wrap.
That's right.
That's a wrap. We're on to news stories. If he calls in now, I'm not even asking it. Huh?
I found the news story.
I have one on here that I want to do. I found this one in because Charlie was supposed to be on, and
I know.
She just took her car in to be cleaned and had to make a note to let the guy at the car wash know that there was not a vibrator in the glove box because apparently she traumatized a young man not too long ago. So a Colorado condominium owner said this week that she had to spend hundreds of dollars and lost about 2 months' worth of rent in an effort to evict squatters who left behind underwear, dirty dishes, a snake, and sex toys.
A snake?
What?
I'm more interested
underwear,
in the
dirty
snake.
dishes, a snake, and sex toys. Sarah Feldman told Denver Fox 31 that after the tenant broke their lease, another woman moved in without her knowledge and refused to leave. She was being difficult. She didn't want to leave, Feldman said. There was her and 2 guys I've never seen before. After a month, Feldman got a lawyer and obtained a writ for the Denver Sheriff's Department to evict the squatters. There were guys' underwear all over. It was just really disgusting, Feldman told Fox 31. There were sex toys found in the condo as well, and that I did not want to touch. Were there sex toys that she found that she did want to touch? I guess.
Is she paying for is she asking for emotional damages? Is that
it
what this is all leading toward?
I would definitely say
I have a snake phobia.
Right.
I also had to touch.
Well, she didn't seem to be worried about the snake. She was afraid to touch the sex toys, which makes perfect sense to me.
The plot twist is they were using the snake as a sex toy.
I would imagine at some point.
Yes. Yeah. Though, part of me, the first part, I was just like, oh, this just sounds like a young 20-something's crash pad. Right. There are men's underwear everywhere on the floor. Used, disgusting, had not been washed in who knows how long from the stench.
How do they know they left the snake, though? Is it a snake? Maybe it's Colorado. It could have come from somewhere else. How do they know that they are the ones that left the snake?
That's true. Maybe the snake
my
is the
guess
third
it had
round of
my guess
squatters.
it was still coated with Astroglide or something.
He came up from the toilet and just decided to walk into the room.
It just slithered in and said, this is my kind of place. All the underwear and sex toys.
Lots of
it's over there hitting on
toys.
It's over there hitting on a sex toy. Thinking it's
another snake.
Thinking it's another snake.
I'm pretty sure they got rattlesnakes. They got rattlesnakes in Colorado, right?
Oh yeah.
That would be would be the vibrator.
Yep. If they left the rattlesnake. Nope, it's a vibrator. Oh, yeah, so that's what happens in Colorado.
Stays in Colorado.
You know what? And that's what happens when you legalize weed.
Exactly. Yep. Snakes and sex toys.
The horrible consequences of legalizing weed.
Yep. They were absolutely. Reefer Madness was absolutely correct. It was a historical document. It was not a propaganda film.
This would be the Reefer Madness documentary of 2020. It would just be a bunch of really lazy 20-somethings.
Men's underwear, snakes, and vibrators.
Unwashed men's underwear, a vibrator.
Yep. That's
and a snake
and a
just randomly makes a guest appearance.
Yeah,
and you'll never,
probably not that
and
random.
if you're watching it, you're like, is this part of like a dream sequence that's supposed to like symbolize like, or is this real? And I can't tell. Very avant-garde.
Yeah.
And they're like, Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. That's going to be my avant-garde film. I'm going to just put random stuff together and call it art. That's how I'm going to get out of this town, Don.
I think that is art, though. Just random stuff.
Random
put
stuff
together,
thrown.
yeah.
I think that's actually why I've failed as an artist up to this point. Is things make too much sense.
That's what it is.
I try to have like thought and purpose. And intention,
that doesn't fit in the art world.
Craft.
Right.
You know? No. I gotta like Banksy this. I gotta like draw a mustache on a public figure.
That's
mural.
all it takes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch out, public figures. There's an election season coming up, and there's gonna be mustaches on y'all, and I'm gonna make it my gallery exhibition.
Perfect. Speaking of deer tongues,
she's
Patrick,
a gallery exhibitionist.
That's right. That's right. Catch it at the next gallery opening.
Gallery
opening.
The Texas man who was critically injured when he veered off.
What's
What's that?
I'm going with the exhibitionist. Sorry.
Okay, that's
I was
fine,
just sorry.
A Texas man was an exhibition. No, a Texas man. He's a Texic.
Texic.
Well,
he's he's Tex-ish.
An exhibitionist man would have the hat to be able to cover himself up with. Maybe.
That's true. Well, it's
maybe. But you ever heard about Swiss Cheese Man, right?
Swiss Cheese Man.
Didn't he come from Wisconsin?
No, Switzerland.
Yeah, there was some serial flasher, and his thing was a while back was he would ask a young woman to come over. Hey, check this out, and he would just be like in his car, and he would just have like Swiss cheese on his penis.
What?
Okay, was stuck through a hole?
Yeah, something like that.
That's that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like a serial. It
Wasn't
was like a
baby
thing he
Swiss.
did a lot.
It could be
Because
baby
that's a whole other charge.
True.
A Texas man
Anyway.
who was critically injured when he veered off the road after crashing into a deer was able to phone 911 himself despite being impaled by a 2-inch metal rod, according to his family.
No. Was this a cyborg deer?
I think so.
What?
Yeah, well, the deer had broke a hip,
deer-
had a little prosthesis.
I just picture the deer comes out like,
It had a walker.
and then he's
It's an older-
like the really awkward animatronics, and he's driving late at night, and he's like, oh god, and then it just looks at him like T2 like T1 style, and just like a red eye.
Yeah,
But then
Jake
like
Tabor.
T2 style, it just liquefy metals like his antlers.
There you go. Yeah,
And just goes through him.
Jake Tabor, 25, was driving to work in Willis. What you talking about? But just 50 miles north of Houston on Tuesday around 4 a.m. when he struck a deer on Highway 75 North near Shepherd Hill Road and lost control of his car. Tabor, a pipe fitter, that's fitting,
Okay.
crashed into a fence and was impaled in the abdomen by a 2-inch hole.
Yikes.
That's really not that much to be impaled by.
Yeah, I guess that's why he's able to call.
I'm thinking it's like a fence post, like 2-inch
You ever seen Buffy,
diameter,
the Vampire Slayer, like the end credits?
Because you don't get impaled by something that's only 2 inches
no,
long. 'Cause
no.
it had to have been the
No,
girth.
you
that
get a
got
real
him.
permanent
Because
piercing.
sometimes it's the girth that gets you, Patrick.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I was picturing an end of the Buffy Slayer movie, like with the vampire being stabbed, where he's
Is that traumatizing for you to see those?
I mean, if it's done comedically enough, it's all about like the joke, right? Whether it's in good taste or bad taste. If it's funny, hilarious. In fact, it's more hilarious because it's kind of cathartic because you live in such fear of it. But when you see, I think it was Paul Rubens, just writhing around for the entire end credits, basically. Like where they'll do or he's just like, ooh, ah, like he was killed in the last scene, and then it's like, oh, he's gone, and they cut away, and then it's in the end credits. It's him still doing like his long extended.
I don't remember
scene.
that. What movie was that again?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay,
The movie.
I
when I was
have
a
not
kid,
seen it.
that
I have
was
not
the
seen it.
fun-
I did not
died.
know. I did not know that Paul Rubens was in that. I did not know
he was
played a vampire.
I believe he was. So he was the funny vampire.
Right. The Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. but he was just like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, and then be like, he'd done. He'd be like, ah, yeah.
Now I saw an episode of Son of the Beach with Gilbert
goes on
Gottfried
and
playing
on.
a vampire. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a death scene very similar.
Yeah, that's the best way. That's what I picture. If you have a small, that's the thing. Some people, the girth is what gets you. As you've pointed out,
girth is what gets you is also a possible show title.
Bigger isn't always better, but sometimes bigger is more humane.
That's true. The girth is what gets you.
If you care. If you care about our vampire feelings, don't stab us with toothpicks.
Right. Yeah.
Don't stab us with chopsticks.
Oh yeah, that's pain. That's just repeated pain.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean,
that's acupuncture. Well, it could be relaxing, but not. I guess.
I mean,
how does that work? Because if it's a toothpick, it's still got to hit the heart.
If it
to
hits
do
it
any
exactly right, if it is wood and it hits the heart, I mean, unlikely. But maybe if it's a good, wood skewer, you would use for like cooking meats.
Yeah. I got you.
Maybe get in there if you aim it right with enough force. I mean, maybe.
Yeah. So just like a good kebab skewer.
You gotta kebab that shriveled heart. You gotta kebab it exactly.
There's so many episode titles. Kebab that shriveled heart.
Get it in there. Man. And then it's ash time, but it takes longer. Time. That's the thing. If you get a good girthy steak, and you really plunge it deep. You really plunge it deep and hard in there.
Plunge in the.
In fact, I would say you might want to do a few thrusts with the steak.
Right. You got to make sure. You got to make sure.
Yeah, get it in there. Get some leverage.
Now the hammer method is that because I'd imagine that would drive it through quicker.
See, but the problem with that is you could be off. I mean, we've all hit you've hit your hand with a hammer, right? Like where you have a nail.
So if it doesn't go through the heart,
then you have a Paul Rubens death is what you have. Where actually you don't die, but now you got to get it out, and now you're just sitting there like, ooh, why? I was in the middle of, I'm still binging something. Couldn't you wait till I was done? Because I'll probably be in my cat. I think that's a classic way to go, right? You're in your casket and they wait till dawn. Maybe I shouldn't be giving you tips on how to kill vampires, but.
You're my co-host. I can't, you're safe. You're safe with me knowing your secrets.
I mean, you're
now,
the
if
only
you
ones
ever double cross me, you're in trouble.
I'll just move to Cincinnati. I know you don't go more than 20 miles from here.
I go all over the place.
You go all over the place?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
If it's to take revenge on a double crossing vampire.
Oh no.
I will travel the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that changes No, wait. At least wait till I'm done binging my shows, okay?
Okay,
I'll just
fine.
put it out there.
Fine.
Just
don't
binge. Don't stab the vampire when you're in the middle of an HBO
want
show.
mid binge stabbing.
Yeah, like be like, oh, I'm one season away. I'm 2 episodes away from the end of Game of Thrones. Please.
Oh yeah, that would be the cruelest.
Well, no, I just did you a favor because of the last episode.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that would have been the way to go, to live in the hope and dreams of what Game of Thrones could have been.
All right.
I mean, I do have to say though, the way she murdered all those people, delicious.
Spoiler alert.
Speaking of which, we got I do have to cover this Florida story.
There's a couple murder she's in that show.
Police in Gainesville, Florida. Florida.
The Tennessee's just roaring out today.
Yeah, it's belching right out. Police in Gainesville, Florida are investigating after a contractor doing work on a home Monday discovered half a dozen jars containing human tongues inside a crawl space beneath the residence, reports say.
Explain this.
Police were dispatched to a home near Northwest 16th Avenue after receiving a 911 call that human remains dating back to the 1960s had been found in the crawl space of a home belonging to the ex-wife of Dr. Ronald A. Ballman.
No.
According to the Tampa Bay Times, once on the scene, investigators found half a dozen plastic gallon-sized jars containing human tongues, Chief Inspector Jorge Campos told the paper. He said the labels on the jars dated back to the 1960s. Ballman, a world-renowned pathologist and former University of Florida professor, told WCJB that he had obtained the specimens as part of research and brought them home with the intention of using them for additional work. He stored them in the crawl space because it was a cool area. I'm calling BS on that one. That man's a serial killer. That's
like, how can you forget about the tongues for that long?
I think he knew about him. He was moving out because it was in the home of his ex-wife.
Yeah.
She kicked him out, and he's like, "You're keeping the tongues."
Yeah.
Because they're going to find him, and you're going to prison. That was a revenge tongue lashing right there. He left his wife with the tongues.
That doesn't make a lick of sense if you ask me.
Yeah. I just hope she wasn't the one that had the deer tongue problem that we discussed earlier.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm kind of thinking the other way around. I mean, is there something? Isn't that? It sounds like that's the thing women want most.
The tongue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Some good tongues.
It's between the tongue and the girth. That's what it's
They're
all
like,
about,
I don't need
right
you.
there.
I have these tongues in the basement. Get
exactly,
out.
Exactly.
She's like, I'm keeping the tongues.
Yeah.
I'm keeping them.
Now,
that's the only thing good you got. I'm keeping the tongue.
I want to know if the tongues were well
They're
preserved.
vintage tongues.
Vintage. Yeah, they're vintage tongues. A good quality aged tongue from the 60s.
Yeah, she's like, that's what I like.
Those are hippie tongues.
Yeah.
And they'll do some stuff.
Yeah. Stuff that your tongue won't do. I'll tell you that.
They ain't afraid to get freaky.
They're
letting
not
their
afraid.
freak flag tongue fly. That's
or fry.
Or
I don't
fry.
know.
Or fry. I don't know what she was doing with them.
Who knows?
I've had beef tongue. I don't know.
I mean, it's a thing people eat.
And apparently deer tongue is the thing people do other things with.
Now,
yeah.
I want to know if this guy had a cat, because if he had a cat, then the cat's got the tongues.
Yeah. So many negative points. I feel like if I was host of the show,
you were never going to get the golden cock like that.
I don't need the golden cock because I got the tongue.
That's true. Oh man.
Are you going to have a loser trophy?
I'm going to think of something to give Scott to give the loser.
I should get Don. I should get another one of those toy screaming goats, and that should be the loser trophy.
I still have that. We could give the screaming goat as a consolation prize.
Yeah.
A participation goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the golden cock and the participation goat. We've already named the episode, and that doesn't come out till March 10th.
The goat screams when he sees the golden cock.
Oh, man.
It sounds like a weird prophecy.
Oh, my God.
It does.
The goat screams when it
Did you
sees
say the
the
pearl
golden
is in the
cock.
river? Oh, man.
You're like, what? I asked you about my love life.
Ooh, this is weird. Not your love life, but
I mean,
I don't know.
I have overshared a little.
A woman has undergone brain surgery while playing the violin to ensure surgeons did not damage the part which controls fine movement of her hands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dagmar Turner.
Dagmar.
What a name. Dagmar Turner, a 53-year-old management consultant and passionate violinist from the Isle of Wight, had a tumor removed at King's College Hospital. She was worried she may lose her music skills, so she suggested she be allowed to play the violin during the operation. Professor Keomars Ashkin, a consultant neurosurgeon at the hospital, came up with a plan to reduce the risk. Surgeons mapped her brain, opened the skull, and then got her to play the violin as the tumor was removed.
Yeah.
Did not know that you could be awake while you're having brain surgery.
Oh yeah, they do all the time. Actually,
that is weird.
They'll probe your brain. You can watch it. There's tons of footage of it, but they'll do weird stuff. Like that's how they know partly what controls what is because if they electrically, just a little tiny electric shock, they'll stimulate different parts of it. And sometimes you'll start like laughing, or like you'll be like, "Wow, I smell like turkey" or something, and they can tell like where things are.
That's very
in your brain. So yeah, they probably what they did is
because usually I forget where things are in my brain.
Yeah,
that
I'm like open me up, electrically stimulate where my keys are.
Yep, where the
But yeah, I find
maybe I'll find the tongues that I hid away for 30 years.
Yeah,
where those tongues are.
You should know as a surgeon. You should just got his neurosurgeon buddy to
there
just
you
open
go,
them
yeah,
up and figure out where they are.
No, I think he still knew. I think he.
Yeah, you don't forget.
Yeah, you don't.
Vintage
You don't
tongues.
forget vintage tongues like that. When you get a hold of a good tongue, you tend to remember.
You remember. I find it telling that she's a management consultant. It sounds like a very management consultant thing to do. That you manage and consult the neurosurgeon.
Right.
About
she's
how
a
to
micro.
do his job.
That's a micromanagement consultant.
Yes,
right
exactly.
There. Yes.
She's like, you're going to open me up.
Yep. You are
I'm
not going to
gonna
mess
be
up my
sedated.
violin hands. I am going to keep an eye on you
Even
while
though
I play
I'm a
this here violin.
53-year-old management consultant, I don't think Juilliard is calling. I gotta preserve.
The problem is she started out with Mozart and she ended with The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Maybe they did it better. Yeah, maybe they
that's
just
all
were like,
she just
they're
does
like,
bluegrass now.
Daggy,
That's all
you go. You go, girl. That's the kind of brain surgery. Is there brain surgery that can make us funny, Don?
I would hope. There has to be something.
There
has to be
me
something.
open, just to electrically stimulate different
parts
of my brain.
I'm looking at the screen here, and I am the only viewer.
Yeah. I shared it this time. I will tell you, I shared it instead of having a watch party because it made some people nervous as soon as it goes into the watch party mode.
Oh yeah, I never.
They're
watching.
Looked. Yeah. They're watching me.
Yeah, I never look at that.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just share it.
Just
fine. You can lurk
sometimes
and
you
be
just share.
Weirdos out there. That's right. I called you out. Anyone watching?
Yeah. A New Hampshire police chief.
That's okay. I'm a weirdo too. I know how it is.
For anybody, this is going to be the last one, but for anybody who has a job where they have a uniform, this is something we've all wanted to do at some point. A New Hampshire police chief stripped down to his underwear and walked into a snowstorm after being stripped of his duties. At a local board meeting Tuesday night. Richard Lee. Great. His name was Dick.
Oh, Dick Lee.
Dick Lee. Dick Lee. He was very Dickly that
with
night.
the golden cup.
Is that a Swiss cheese you're wearing?
It's the girth that gets you. Richard Lee was the police chief for nearly 20 years until a 3-member select board voted to rely solely on coverage from the New Hampshire State Police during the meeting. He worked. They should have had coverage for his uniform.
Yeah, they needed more coverage. That's really what he was protesting.
That's the problem. He worked part-time as the only member of the department, which covers the town of Croydon's roughly 700 residents. He was told to immediately turn in his gun and uniform, as well as the keys to his police cruiser. So Lee took off his gear before the board chairman. I gave them my uniform shirt. I gave them my turtleneck. I gave my turtleneck. That sounds really bad right there. I gave them my ballistic vest. I sat down in the chair, took off my boots, took off my pants, put those on the chair, and put my boots back on and walked out the door, Lee said.
Well, at least he put his boots on.
Well, yeah, it was a snowstorm.
I mean,
kind of like the one that's got somebody trapped in Danville, Illinois.
Yeah, Charlie, be sure to always wear your boots.
Yes, exactly. If you go out in your underwear,
gal,
if you strip down to your underwear and go outside, be sure to wear your boots.
At least wear your boots. Yeah. I mean, we got
which oddly enough, knowing Charlie, there's a good chance she's doing that right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice, a nice snow bath. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You got to make the occasional nude snow angel. That's all there is to
definitely.
it.
Definitely. It's really good for the skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do it face
and
first.
And the lower
that
back.
Way, yeah.
That icy.
I do it face first. That way. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. That's just weird.
I was going to say, is that what you say when the cops find you?
Snow facial.
Is that what they say when the cops find you at 2 a.m. when you stumble out of the bar?
Yeah. That's happened before.
I'm making a snow angel.
That's happened
officer.
before, but it was in the middle of summer, and they did not buy it. It was more of a mud angel, actually.
I was trying to become
I didn't purposely set out to make a mud angel. I was trying to get back up.
Officer.
That was just the end result.
Officer, I'm a comedian.
Yeah, I'm a comedian.
A comedian. This is funny.
I used to be a 2X.
This is real funny.
Comedian.
Will you tape me? Are you taping this? Are you taping
this needs to go Facebook Live.
Can you send me a link? Can you send me a link?
Yep, I want that on my acting reel.
I want my reel.
I'm going to use this for my audition.
Exactly. It's my new audition tape. I'm going to audition for a movie with Russell Rapp.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
You don't have to be there for it.
Apparently. He does this stuff so remote.
We will reconnect later because, and here's the funny thing about this. He's on this time zone.
Really?
So
it's not even like a math issue.
Right. We can't use the excuse, different time zone. But nope, here it is.
Nope.
And here's the thing. Mercury is in retrograde.
That is true. That is true.
So a lot of times appointments just don't get kept.
That is true.
Nothing against you, Russell.
Who believe in the fake science.
Yes.
Trees are God. But astrology.
Put it this way: I had 4 people booked on this show, and only 2 of them made it.
Yeah.
You and Larry. That's it.
Well, Mercury is in retrograde. It's as good an excuse as anything.
Yeah, that's a good way to let.
I'm
folks
sure
off
that's what
the
Bloomberg
hook.
is blaming in his campaign on right now.
His I think he should blame his performance on Bloomberg. That's really.
I mean, but he's probably gonna. He's gonna be like, "Look, guys, Mercury was in retrograde.
Yeah.
Come on.
I really should have won that.
I'm spending $500,000 on this, okay? $500 million, sorry.
Does anybody want him there?
Betting the $6,000 from the the meth vagina.
Right.
Yeah,
that should definitely be donated to probably Bernie.
I was going to say, that's probably going to Bernie's.
Donate Bernie
let's be honest,
vagina
that's going
money.
to Bernie's campaign funds.
Yep,
he could use it.
I've heard of boob
That's
money.
right.
The first time I've heard of a
money.
JJ money.
There might be a little tongue in there, too.
The bank of the JJ.
You should probably bleep this, but I was going to say pussy bucks. That was
If we're talking about a cat, folks.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's up in the kitty.
Yeah, well, that's what the P and P&L report stands for.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, Adrian, hey, thanks for making it in.
No problem.
Because this
No
last
problem.
hour would have been really weird if it was just me.
I don't have a life, and other than my dungeons.
Well, yeah. It's good to get out of the dungeon now.
It is
and
good.
It's
It is
dark
nice to get
outside, so
out.
you're going to be safe going
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Now, some of the random passerbys might not be safe with you out there.
That's true.
but, yeah.
I mean, that's also, I'm not going to lie, that's part of the reason I like coming up here.
Perfect. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, that drunken young bloods.
Right. But yeah, the drunken sailors.
Yes.
Go out and get your nightly
That
semen.
is correct.
All right.
What's this about the Seaman again?
Seaman.
That's what I said.
All right. I think, hey, Patrick, I don't say this enough. Thank you for producing this show.
Thank
Where
you,
would we be
Patrick.
without you?
I would
Well,
be
you're going to
nice
find out
this time.
next week.
We're going to find out next week.
Because I'm going to
Because
Wisconsin.
did you get Shay? Is Shay going to be in
Yes,
here? Okay.
Shay, the sports director.
Shay is going to be in
Oh.
here next week. Adrian's going to be back. Lana
Yep.
Reed's going to be in. We're going to get a call from Lisa London. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be
Hopefully
a lot of fun.
he doesn't turn your mics on too early, and then you get another one of those.
Right, get another
moments.
cuddle. Well, Scotty won't be here, so it'll be. I should probably deduct another point for that. Just
What, from Scotty?
why not?
Just every time we mention it.
Because he
Just every
hasn't
time I
given you a
mention one of
cuddle
them,
yet.
one of them gets cut a point. All right. We're being alerted. We
Oh,
better get out of here.
okay,
Patrick,
okay.
take
Woo.
us home.
Get us
Thanks for
outta here.
listening.
Get us
Tune
outta
in
here.
next week. It's going to be a great show. And don't forget, March 10th coming up is the Battle of the Guest Co-Hosts with Autumn the Hatchet Hatcher and Powdered Donut Scotty Mays.
That's going to be
Patrick,
great.
hit it.
This has been the Life Radio Show with your host Don Smith. The Life is also available in podcast form just about anywhere podcasts can be found. So check out the Life1069.com for additional information. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and enjoy some live comedy this week.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
I can't believe it's not butter. Well, I can't believe it's WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton.